One of the hardest one-move checkmate you can find in chess. But there is a twist. Some of you may consider these positions and these moves to be cheating, but I ask you to have an open mind. Position number 1, white to play. There is a checkmate in one move. But to find the answer of this exercise, you have to take into account what was the last move played by black. That's the only hint I can give you, and I'm giving you a few seconds to find it. There is a checkmate in one move. Think about this. What are the possible checks? That's the first thing you should think about here. The first one that we see is pushing this pawn, and you may think, okay, it's a checkmate, because this king cannot go anywhere. Bishop is controlling this one is controlling this. There is only one issue with this, is that he can push the pawn and stop the check. So this is not a checkmate in one move. Is there any possible check here? There is another one, but this is sacrificing a piece, going with the knight here, right? But this doesn't work as well, obviously. The knight can take, there is absolutely nothing, and you didn't checkmate in one move. So what are we talking about here? Is there any other check that you didn't think about in this position? The point of this video today is to show you that in chess you have to have an open mind. I want you to have more imagination so you can find brilliant moves on the chessboard. Here, the only way that you could find the answer is if, and I told you to take into account what was the last move played by black. And here, the only way to find the answer is if black on the last move played c5. And now you can do the French move, the en passant. You know the en passant, is that you can take like this. And now the difference is, this is a discovery check and you eliminated the pawn that could, cover the check. Position number 2. Now you are playing with white. There is a checkmate in one move. And again, I ask you to think outside the box. We already have life to keep us, in this kind of frames, boring. Now I want you to focus on your imagination and try to find the moves. The difference between people who would find the move here, the checkmate in one move, and the others, is really like some people just like to stay, in a frame in life, I'm not saying that you have to be illegal. This is not what I'm saying here, that you have to be cheating. What I want is that you think outside the box. That's a totally different story. I gave you enough time to try to find the answer in this one. And I hope you found that the only way, again, you have to screen the checks. Okay, there is this one, but then the king can take, so it doesn't do anything. You can move the king, but the problem is that you're covering actually this rook, which means I can move. So this is not a checkmate in one move. What could it be? I never said that this king and this rook moved in the game. You may have considered that because we are in an endgame, that this is almost impossible that these two pieces actually didn't move. But that's your problem. I told you to think outside the box. That's not my problem. So here, the winning move is obviously to long castle, and these two rooks deliver a beautiful checkmate. Let's go on to the next position now. Here, white obviously is down in material, and now you're thinking, okay, this is not a real position. I don't want you to come in the comment section and tell me this is impossible because, by the way, I know that. The point of today's exercise is not to play real positions. The point today is to make you think differently about chess. And here is white to play, and white can checkmate in one move. What do you think the move could be? I give you a few seconds to try and find it. Again, in this one, you had to think outside the box, because the only way to checkmate, obviously coming with the queen here, this is not a checkmate. Coming with the knight here obviously doesn't work because the queen takes. So what could it be really? And here, to find the move, again, you should have looked at the board, but if you're starting chess, I get it. You may not have spotted that when you start with the black pieces, your pawns with black are on the 7th rank, not on the 2nd rank. And this is what you should have spotted, which means these pawns came from here to here, right? Which means they cannot capture this way. So now, I'm sure you found the winning move. It's simply knight here, and that's a beautiful checkmate, because the pawns are going this way. And again, I know what you're gonna say in the comment section. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna tell me this is not possible, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, this position is actually possible. Why not? I mean, he pushed all his pawns. he went forward, then he went forward actually with these pieces. That's totally possible. But anyways, so this one, I just wanted you to spot that this was the first and the second rank written on the left, and then you would have found basically the direction, because I see in the shorts that I do, you always ask me, can you put basically the numbers? White pieces start basically on the first and second rank, and black pieces start on the 7th and 8th rank. So whenever you see a 7 and an 8, you know that here all this is black pieces. If you see a 1 here, if you see a 1, you know that this should be white pieces. The first thing I want you to do here, it's a complex position because it's a lot of pieces, but there is a checkmate for white in one move. First thing, we screen the checks. Let's try with the queens. How about this move? The bishop takes, so this is not a checkmate in one move. How about going here? This one is pinned. That's the first thing you have to look at when you look at the positions. Yes, this one is pinned, but you cannot go with the queen there because the knight is capturing the queen. This one is not pinned, right? How about this? This one could come here. No, there is a knight. That doesn't work. This queen could come here. Doesn't work. This queen could come here. The bishop can
find it, book it, make it yours. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
take. So what could be? You could also capture this, by the way, right? Is this a checkmate? No, the king can escape. This piece is being pinned by the queen. Now you look at the king. I want you as a third step, look at the king and ask yourself, does this king has any square that he can go to? Can he go here? No, the knight is here. Can he go here? Of course not. There is the queen and there is the knight controlling actually this square. Can the king go here? Of course not. So many pieces are controlling this square. Okay, maybe I can put the king here. No, I'm not gonna put the king actually next to another king, right? So the only square that the king can go to is this one. So the checkmate that I have to find should be checking the king that is on this square and also controlling basically this square. If you find a move that achieves both things, you win. And here I gave you enough time to think about the position, and the winning move is to actually give a check with the knight on d4 like this. This is a checkmate, and the reason is that this one cannot capture because there is a pin, and you can see that the knight is giving a check and is also controlling the escape of this king. So even if you have a lot of pieces in chess, it doesn't mean that it's more complex. Actually, this one I find it to be the easiest, most likely. Next position. This one is to make it simple for you. I'm gonna say there is no trick. It's just for you to actually just chill and relax. Here, find the checkmate with white in one move. First thing, you can look at the capture and doing a queen or whatever. But we see very easily, this is not a checkmate. I can take with the king and there is no checkmate. I mean, you didn't checkmate anyway, so why are we thinking about it? So you had to spot a piece, and this is about the tunnel vision. Sometimes in chess, we don't see a piece that is actually really far, like this one. We just don't see it and we end up actually losing a piece because of it. So here you just had to see that there is a bishop here. And actually there could be a sort of discovery. Where to put the king? If you go here, that doesn't work, the king can come here, so this is not checkmate. The only way to checkmate here was to block actually the only exit for this king and to go here with a beautiful checkmate actually with the bishop. That was an easy one. I kept this one at the end for you. The only reason why I did this video is because I want you to think outside the box. I want you to have a vision of the full board and look in your life, by the way. You have sometimes you feel you're stuck.